What's up, Epic 7? Get excited because the best time of year is here. Summer in Epic 7 is insane. And to kick this off, we got an insane summer unit coming, and I am so about it. We have got Argent Waves Hwayoung. Right in your jet ski, right through your enemies. This is a unit you're going to want to have on your team if you play aggressively, if you like damage, you like proccing big numbers, you like blowing things up, watching people bow out and Ras laughing into the next fight. I'm kidding. Don't be toxic. Don't be toxic. Be good. But yes, Hwayoung. I saw this unit and I thought, holy crap, she doesn't even need a kit. She doesn't even need a kit. She will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine. So let's go take a look at her video, then break down her kit and talk about whether she is right for you and the way you play, or if she's a hard pass and wait for what's coming next, because summer has just started and a lot is going to be coming your way. Let's go check her out.
There's not a wave out there that I can't surmount.
Let's go.
Kept you waiting. I'm here. Who's a little cute? Let's see if I still got it.
Oh, you got it.
Hwayoung, the leader of the biker gang Sura, who had retired from the role following her injury. While trapped in the trauma of her injury, she ends up joining a summer boot camp at Vice leader Kin's suggestion. When she sets her sights on the restless waves and bright sun, she kicks up the Argent Waves and finds herself treading the path of Sura once again. Argent
Okay, guys, let's talk about the unit first. Argent Waves Hwayoung. She is a thief unit and she is a Leo Zodiac. Now, you guys are probably very familiar with Leo thieves in this game. There's a lot of them, right? There's Remnant Violet, there's Arbiter Vildred, there's Ice Kisei, there's Ludwig, both of them. Regular Ludwig and Eternal Wanderer Ludwig. Roy Mustang, for those who are here for the Full Metal Alchemist collab. You've got Melissa and Landy and ML Landy and Tori. I mean, you kind of getting the feeling of what kind of a unit a Leo Thief is, right? She is designed to be a glass cannon of a high caliber. She is going to blow things up, do serious damage. She is just a principal nuking DPS unit. She gets 16.8. Why? Why Smilegate? Why 0.8? Where's the freaking two? Round it off, Smilegate. Round it off. 16.8% crit chance at a triple S imprint. So that is a huge chunk of crit chance to build into her kit, in addition to a little bit of crit chance starting out at 23. You can get half of your crit debt done just from imprints. So she is a whale tier unit. Somebody you're going to want imprints on. And at 116 base speed, I mean, not the fastest unit in the game, but definitely a solid starting speed. That's going to let you build her a couple of different ways. Think about it, guys. Think about Arby's, right? You've got the slow degen counter evasion Arby's. You've got the super giga fast Arby's. You've got the speed set remnant violence. You got the slow destruction set remnant violence. One nice thing about the Leo stat line is it allows multiple different ways to build. So high damage, high crit, speed or no speed, bulk or no bulk. A lot of people are going to cook different ways to build this unit.
Argent Waves Hwayoung is a 5-star Ice Elemental Thief. She has high attack and a critical hit chance, and can increase her critical hit chance through her imprint concentration.
Okay, guys, let's talk about these skills. Her passive skill, her S2 passive skill, Advent of the Sura. After an ally, remember that an ally, not an enemy, an ally uses a non-attack skill, activates Swallow Kick on the enemy with the highest defense. It could be a tank buster, guys. You watch. Swallow Kick. After granting increased attack to the caster for 2 turns, attacks them by leaping forward and increases the combat readiness of the caster by 20%. Penetrates the target's defense by 50%. She's hitting the highest defense unit with a 50% penetration skill. Already advantageous to the max, because the higher the defense, the more impact penetration has. And when she's granted Vigor, grants an extra turn. This one took me a minute. It's a little bit tricky. We'll get into how that works in a minute. So let's just say you use a really fast opener unit. I don't know, maybe a unit that recently got a speed-based exclusive equipment who's loaded with non-attack skills that also CR push. I don't know. Whoever you want to use, pick one. That's just coincidence, I'm sure. Non-attack skill, she is going to immediately activate Advent of the Sura, and she's going to hard nuke into the highest defense unit on the enemy team. And then once that kick is over, she's going to CR push up 20%. And penetration on it. Now, if she's granted vigor, so Conqueror Lilius, anyone? I swear to God, I swear they were sitting there saying, "Man, it kind of sucks that Conqueror Lilius isn't used anymore. That Sea Phantom Politis girl just like took all of her job, and now she doesn't have a job anymore. Maybe we should buff her." And like, no, we can't buff Conqueror Lilius. You buff Conqueror Lilius, it's gonna be a disaster. And she's too strong already. We can't buff her. It'll just flip the tables, and now no one will use C-Pot. Well, what if we give her a special job where she interacts with a new broken summer unit? I tell you, it's like I was a fly on the wall in those meetings. So, Conqueror Lilius uses Vigor. This is how it's going to go down. She'll use Vigor. She'll use her S3 and put Vigor on Hwayoung. So, Hwayoung is going to get the attack boost, pop off, go right into the high defense target with her defense penetration boosted by Vigor. And after her turn is over, she's immediately going to take another turn. Think of it like a Child Senya, where even if she was all the way down the bar, she shoots the front and takes the turn. Now, Conqueror Lilius has an extra turn after she has threes, so the order of operation is Conqueror Lilius activates, gets an extra turn, activates Hwa, who gets an extra turn. Conqueror Lilius's extra turn was first, so she gets to use her S2, then Hwa will get her extra turn and go again. So that's kind of the order of operations of this whole thing. So you could S3 and then either S2 or S1, maybe you pull a dual attack, maybe get an extra kick or an extra hit, and then Hwa's going to get her extra turn. Vigor is going to be stupid strong on this unit, and I think maybe, depending on how good Hwa is, we see a resurgent of Conqueror Lilius, especially in lunatic mode tournaments where things get banned left and right, where Sea Phantom Politis is unlikely to make it deep in. I bet you see Conqueror Lilius and Hwa make an appearance.
Skill 2, Advent of the Sura. After an ally uses a non-attack skill, activates Swallow Kick on the enemy with the highest defense. Swallow Kick, after granting increased attack to the caster for 2 turns, attacks the enemy by leaping forward and increases combat readiness of the caster by 20%. Penetrates the target's defense by 50%.
Okay, so here we go.
When the caster
She was
is granted
activated,
vigor,
50%
grants an
penetration
extra turn.
into a super high defense unit. That did 12k damage into a unit that likely has 3,000 defense, guys. That was a powerhouse kick. Now, she was granted vigor. See, Conqueror Lilius gave her vigor. You notice Conqueror Lilius's one more turn activated, and you see the one more turn. Now, it looks a little weird because Hwa only pushed halfway down the line, but as soon as Conqueror Lilius goes, Hwa's going to push the rest of the way up.
Obey.
Which you get to
Skill
see
3,
later.
Argent Flash.
So let's talk about her skill 3, Argent Flash. Attacks all enemies with a water scooter, because why not? And increases the combat readiness of the ally in the back row by 50%. So not only can she self-push 20%, potentially cutting, 20% is a serious push, right? So when you're talking about what kind of speed do you need to cut, think Zeo, right? Think Zeo. Whatever you have on your Zeo, that is probably going to be pretty close to what you're going to want on your Hwayoung if you're going to go the fast route. If you want her to be an opener to bridge another unit, if you want to run that kind of cleave where she is a damage dealing bridge, but then she activates your primary DPS to finish the job, that's kind of what you're looking for. So, 240-ish speed should be enough to cut 300 speed units. Remember, you want to cut your own units. You got an activator, all you need to do is cut your activator. It's stupid to run a 270 Hwa if your fastest unit is 300 speed. Put that speed gear on someone else. Take that 300 speed unit, compensate for 5%, drop 20% off of it. That's the speed you're looking for on your Hwayoung, so that when that opener unit uses the S2, Hwayoung pushes right up to the exact same speed pole position as the opener unit, uses her S3 skill, and that activates the back row unit. Now, if your 300 speed opener unit is Conqueror Lilius, then she can be base freaking speed. So after she uses this skill and bridges the back row unit, she's going to give herself vigor for 2 more turns, which is crazy because after she S3s, she's going to lose 1 of the rounds of vigor from Conquer Release. She's reapplying vigor for 2 turns. Wild. Super, super powerful. This is on a 4-turn cooldown after you mola it up. And if you soul burn for 10 souls, it increases the damage. And I can tell you, anytime an S3 skill on a nuking Leo Thief unit says increased damage, it is not going to be messing around. By the way, guys, this is attacks all enemies, not single target, not like Rylet, all enemies, more like Arby's S3 when you soul burn it for extra damage.
Flash. Attacks all enemies with a water scooter and increases combat readiness of the ally in the back row by 50%. Grants vigor to the caster for 2 turns. When 10 soul is consumed, increases damage dealt.
Another 12k damage. The S2 doing 12k damage into that front row unit, Bossarunka, and then the S3 doing another 12k damage, just evaporated that Bossarunka, did 16k damage. And the other two look a little bit low, but if you look closely, they dodged. She missed on those targets, and that's why it did so little damage there.
Skill 1.
Now let's talk about her skill 1 skill, Lightning Kicks. Attacks the enemy with kicks and dispels 1 buff. God love you, Smilegate. It's been a while since we've had a unit that's had a single sentence skill. Usually you got to read freaking War and Peace novel levels of skill paragraphs. It's nice to see just a clean, it attacks and it strips. I think this throws counter set right out the window unless the mods on this skill are really high, because dispels 1 debuff. It doesn't say anything about ignoring ER or anything like that. So you're really going to be able to use this against very low ER units because nobody's putting effectiveness on this girl. There's nothing special about it. No defense breaks, no skill nulls, no nothing, right? It's just a basic meat and potatoes DPS unit S1 skill.
1.
Let's see how hard it hits.
Attacks the enemy with kicks and dispels 1 buff.
Okay, you know what? That was pretty damn hard. I mean, I know it's a BBK, right? BBKs are glass cannons, but still 18,000 damage on an S1. Even if it's half that against a good defense unit, that's still a lot of damage. So, you know what? Maybe there's a world, right? Maybe there is a counter set world for this unit. I don't know. I still think you either run the fast version to CR push her up, or you just go Destro set, or you go full on degenerate and triple setter. And that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to triple setter. And by that, I mean immunity set, pen set, and torrent set, and go build her just like my Tori and blow things up. But we'll have to play around, see what build likes us the best.
Argent Waves Hwayoung.
Oh my God. So they are tired of us saying, let's put Wind Rider on everything. They can't sell Wind Rider. Wind Rider's an orphaned artifact. The only way they can make money off Wind Rider is when they put it in the powder shop and encourage us to buy powder packs. But other than that, they can't pair it with a banner. They can't make us pull for Wind Riders. You just luck sack into them or buy them from the shop. What can we do about that? What can we do to give DPS nuking thieves a saleable artifact? I know. Let's release Wind Rider plus Ultra. So we have got a 20% attack boost, 15% at plus 15, just for wearing this artifact. That is huge. Unconditional. Now, yeah, Wind Rider can boost your attack higher, especially on the second attack, but this is consistent. And what makes this better than Wind Rider? When attacking, if the target's not an elite boss or monster, because we can't go messing up PvE too much here, has a 100% chance to ignore damage sharing effects. That damage sharing effects means Arius, the artifact Arius, the special effect Escort, units that have damage sharing built into their kit like Eaton. Just ignore that. That damage is not shared. It is all funneled into the target. This is a monumental damage boost. If Arius or if any damage sharing effects are in play in the game and this artifact procs, it will do significantly more damage than just the attack boost from Wind Rider. Now, sure, Wind Rider gives you some stealth and that's pretty good. So it's still going to have a place. This doesn't fully replace it, but I encourage you to look at everyone you've got that's wearing Wind Rider and everyone that you've got that you're like, I would play this unit if I had Wind Rider. Those are your candidates for this. And the other thing too is this works on AoE. You notice it just says when attacking. It doesn't say single target attack. It says when attacking. You could put this on your Arby. You could put, just like you could put it on your Rylet. You could put this on your BBK, just like you could put it on your Janua or your Ludwig or any other single target nuking unit. So this is an artifact I think you're going to want multiples of. How many? I would encourage you to go for a minimum of 2. Minimum. And then in a perfect world, try to get 3 to 4. I think 3 to 4 is a nice number. Now you may be thinking, but wouldn't it be better? I mean, it's a whale artifact, huh? It doesn't guarantee to ignore the damage sharing effects unless it's 100%. Yeah, at plus 15, it'll be 75%. That's still pretty good. You see, unlike true whale artifacts where if it doesn't proc, you just don't win, Holy Sacrifice would be the best example. That one needs to be at 100% because there is, at plus 15, there's a 25% chance you just die and never come back. Whereas this, there's a 25% chance that you just do 20% less damage or 30% less or, you know, whatever the damage mitigation is on there. And you know what? Instead of doing 20,000 damage, you do 16,000 damage. Oh, boo hecking who. The next time around, you do even more damage. It might cause a cleave to fail. It might cause a damage to fail, but you know what? I think you can live with it. I think most of the times you'll be able to survive without this thing proccing right away, but eventually you're going to want to have a stable, reliable one. So I think get 3 to 4 of these if you can, 2 of them if you're very free to play, and then start working on plus 30ing one of those copies with bottles of knowledge or extra imprints. But be careful, don't go berserk on this, guys. This is not the end of summer. This is the start of summer. This is your first limited unit. You're gonna get this one. You're going to get Aram. They're probably going to rerun Frida. They're probably going to rerun Ida. There's a good chance we got a custom group summon in the next few weeks so that people can pick up the older summer units. They've done that pretty much every single year. If you look back in the history, it's been summer banner, rerun banner, custom banner, all in a 3-month window. On top of that, we've got the fan art contest units. They're going to have to start cranking out those soon. You think there's a reason why we might be getting those special Covenant summons like we got last year for the Espa collab? They know they're going to be pounding us with a ton of limited heroes. So gird your wallets, guys. They are coming for you hard, and I'm cooked. I'm absolutely cooked because I'm pulling like crazy for this unit and this artifact.
Hwayoung's artifact is Summer Photogenic. Increases attack by up to 20%. When attacking, if the target is not an elite or boss monster, has up to a 100% chance to ignore damage sharing effects.
Kept waiting. I'm here. Who's a little cute?
The leader who's reclaimed her title of Sura. Players will be able to meet Argent Waves Hwayoung through the limited summon starting July 3rd. Thank you.
Tomorrow, guys, right after maintenance, her banner goes live. So what do you guys think about this unit? Should you pull this unit? Is she a must-have unit? No. No, of course she isn't. There's a lot of other units that are good cleave DPS support options, but she is the newest. Her kit reawakens Conqueror Lilius. If you have Conqueror Lilius and like using her, her value shoots through the roof. If you can build the speed gear, have openers that work with her, if you have multiple DPSs that she can bridge up. Look at this. She CR pushes that back row unit. Now says is 50% CR push. Now says is ready to go, dropping his bombs. It's going to let you chain some pretty serious cleaves. But she is still a cleave unit, and as we all know, cleave is dead. You can't cleave anymore. Tell all your friends, tell them to ungear their cleave units. Cleave is dead. Fitting. You want to make sure you're aware of the fact that she is still going to fall prey to all the anti-cleave options. She uses a non-attack skill to activate her. That means anything that gets pissed off at non-attack skills are going to be a problem. Green Celine is going to be a huge counter to her. Abyssal Euphine, currently in the coin shop. Fire Politis, who can stun and throw back damage, and all of those, both of those units cut CR pushing in half, and she relies on that CR pushing. Unless Vigor, of course, remember, Vigor's an extra turn. It doesn't give a rat's butt about CR push inhibitors, because that's just a raw extra turn. Other units that can be a problem for her that engage with non-attack skills. Moon Bunny Dominial is going to be a huge problem for her. So just be aware that it's not perfect. She's not going to be an instant I win button for your team like some other units that have come out in the past, but she is a very strong unit, and if you like playing fast and loose, aggressive, high damage, you like seeing big numbers and blowing things up and making the fight be over quickly, she might be for you.
You've only got
So let me know in the
yourself to
comments
blame.
section if you guys are going to pull for her, how you going to build her, what you're going to do. We'll talk more about her tonight during the podcast, and I will see you then.
There's not
Take
a
care,
lane
Epic 7.
out there that I can't surmount.